Adam Hunger, John Harper, SNY.TV, Twitter, Tampa, Florida. Clint Frazier admits it's awkward. He wants to let the world know the concussion stuff is behind him, that he's ready to make good on the top prospect hype of a couple of years ago. He doesn't want to sound like some cocky kid saying he's here to take job from the old man in left field, which is how some of Frazier's early comments this spring could be interpreted without context. As a result, he made a point of going to Brett Gardner and Yankees camp on Thursday to explain himself. "I pulled him aside today," Frazier said after Thursday's workout, "and just wanted to let him know that I'm not trying to make this about him and I'm trying to just answer the questions in a respectful manner and go out and play. I just want to be on the field and show everybody what I think I can do. It's a unique situation because you have so much respect for a guy who's been here so long. I want to sound confident in the answers that I give about winning the job, but I also want to make sure that I'm being as respectful as I can, because Gardy's done nothing but good things for me, and for everyone in this clubhouse." On Thursday morning, Gardner had already said he had no issue with Frazier's earlier comments, because he remembered feeling the same way as a young player trying to beat out Johnny Damon and Melky Cabrera some 12 years ago. "So I understand completely where he's at in his career," Gardner said, and the frustration of what he went through last year, dealing with the concussion issues. That's how he should be thinking. Nevertheless, seeking out Gardner was a thoughtful gesture from a player whose cockiness raised some eyebrows when he came over to the Yankees from the Indians organization in 2016. It may also be further indication that Frazier is ready to make good on the talent that had Brian Cashman gushing about the kid's legendary bat speed the day he traded Andrew Miller for him in Justice Sheffield. On Thursday, in fact, Cashman said he sees the ceiling as being as high now as he did then, and made the point that it's vital to show patience with him. "He's still Clint Frazier, just a year older," Cashman said. "Just because he was down with an injury last year, he wasn't robbed of his God-given talent. It's all still there. Being patient on waiting through injuries, or waiting on finishing off on the development stuff for young players, that's the key to real successful franchises, or the failure of ones that don't have that type of patience to wait it out." Cashman also made a point of saying that Gardner, too, still brings a lot of value. That's why he resigned the 35-year-old to a one-year, $7.5 million deal despite a forgettable finish to the season in which Gardner hit .209 in August and September, and went 0 for 12 in the ALDS against the Red Sox. The GM believes the poor finish was the result of Gardner wearing down physically late in the season. "He always wears down in the second half," Cashman said. "We think he's still a dynamic player, but maybe August and September he's not as good as he can be because he's been run out there so much. We always have a plan to protect him, but when injuries hit, Gardy is such a gamer, always stepping up, and especially in a pennant race those plans sometimes go out the window. So what's it all mean? Well, everybody loves Gardner. How could you not, as hard as he has played over 11 seasons with the Yankees, ever the epitome of a hustling style that has made him beloved in his own clubhouse. As Frazier put it, he sets the precedent to what a professional is like. Yet, if the Yankees are going to win a championship in 2019, it feels like they're going to need Frazier to push Gardner into something of a part-time role in left field. This would be a way of making the team still a little younger and more dynamic offensively, while keeping their oldest position player as fresh as possible. Not that Gardner himself buys into any notion that he was worn down late last season. "I felt good all year, so I'm not going to sit here and make excuses," he said Thursday. "I can't really put my finger on it. I didn't have the second half or the season one wanted to, but I wouldn't be back here if I didn't think I was capable of turning it around." Yep, Gardner is a proud Yankee, one who admitted, "It's been too long since this franchise last won a championship in 2009, his first full season in the big leagues." He was 25 then, or the same age Frazier turns in September. Awkward or not, it makes for a fascinating competition between the young gun and the old pro. The Yankees don't necessarily need one to win the job, but with Frazier's potential in mind, they'd sure prefer that neither loses it. Watch, Clint Frazier discusses his unique rehab at Yankees spring training. Greater than read more related, Gardner hopeful in Yankees World Series chances after a disappointing 10 years. Greater than read more related, why Jacoby Ellsbury won't be with Yankees at start of spring training. Greater than read more, Kim Clement, Adam Ottavino was one of the hottest bullpen pieces on the free agent market this offseason, and it was mainly due to one single pitch. Ottavino's signature pitch is his slider that has a ridiculous spin rate, and breaks across the plate like he's throwing a frisbee at his opponent. And his new Yankees teammates got to experience it during a simulated game down in Tampa at the team's spring training facility. The result? Lots of swings and misses. New York Yankees left fielder Brett Gardner gets ready for batting practice during spring training at George M. Steinbrenner Field. But still, USA Today Sports. Brett Gardner, the longest-tenured Yankees player, debuted in 2008 and won a World Series in 2009. Though he and the Yankees haven't won a World Series since, he's optimistic in their chances in 2019. "I think we're better this year than we were in 2018, Gardner told reporters on Thursday morning. "Obviously the season hasn't started. But at this point, I think we've got a better group of guys in place than we've had, maybe than I've ever seen." New York Yankees infielder DJ LeMahieu catches a ball thrown from home plate in a steel drill during spring training workouts at George M. Steinbrenner Field. Reinhold Mate, USA Today Sports. Chris Carelli, SNY, TV, Facebook, Twitter. About Me. Archives. The Yankees had a wrench thrown into its roster plans for 2019 when Didi Gregorius underwent Tommy John surgery in October. The decisions made to fill the gap remain puzzling, at least for me, including the signing of infielder DJ LeMahieu. It is not that LeMahieu is a bad player by any means. The 30-year-old is a former batting champion. He hit .348 in 2016 for the Rockies, and one of the best defenders in the game at second base, 3 Gold Glove awards, including 2 straight honors. The perplexing aspect of his signing is that he's filling a utility role, at a hefty price of 2 years, $24 million, which won't maximize his potential production as a second baseman. But still, John Harper, SNY.TV, Twitter, Tampa, betting that Troy Tulowitzki will stay healthy and play at something resembling his old, all-star level probably wouldn't be a wise investment based on his recent history. But, for the moment at least, it's as if the ghost of Derek Jeter is back at shortstop for the Yankees. He famously idolized Jeter, wearing No. 2 for the Rockies and Blue Jays. And to hear others talk about Tulowitzki, he brings some of that same star presence. San Diego might have been a surprise landing spot for Manny Machado, but the Yankees' decision to pass on the 26-year-old should not have been a shock. Yet, there are fans who will have a hard time letting go of the Yankees' choice. The Yankees apparently believe they have their third baseman of the future in soon-to-be 24-year-old Miguel Andujar, who is coming off a second-place finish in the 2018 American League Rookie of the Year balloting. While the point will be made that Andujar will never be the fielder that Machado is at third base, the Yankees youngster doesn't have to be for fans to forget about the newest Padre. But still, one of the reasons Troy Tulowitzki signed with the Yankees, aside from his admiration for Derek Jeter, is that the Yanks were willing to give him a no-trade clause. When he was traded from Colorado to Toronto during the summer of 2015, Tulowitzki was shocked by the deal. Now, with a chance to pick his destination after the Blue Jays released him with 2 years and $38 million remaining on his contract, Tulowitzki wanted to ensure he'd be with the same team in 2019 from start to finish. Mariano Rivera pitched a scoreless ninth inning. AP, former Yankees closer Mariano Rivera, who recently became the first unanimous Hall of Fame selection, is accused in his native Panama of failing to support 2 children outside of his marriage. Rivera, who is married with 3 children, is being asked to appear before Panamanian judicial authorities to answer the accusations, but the 49-year-old spent Tuesday in his native country defending himself through local media outlets, calling the allegations unfounded. "I have always acted as a good family father," he said, according to the Associated Press. October 3, 2018, Los Angeles, California, USA. Los Angeles Dodgers infielder Manny Machado waits for his turn in the batting cage prior to Game 1 of the 2018 NLDS Playoff Baseball Series at Dodger Stadium. Mandatory credit, Robert Hanashiro. USA Today Sports. Robert Hanashiro, if winning is a priority for Manny Machado, one former player does not believe he will experience much of it after inking a 10-year, $300 million contract. Carlos Beltran, who currently serves as a special advisor for the Yankees, said on Tuesday he understood why Machado chose the Padres and signed the most lucrative free agent deal in American sports. Yet the former outfielder said if Machado were older and had done this before, things would have went differently. SNY illustration, John Harper, SNY.TV, Twitter, Tampa. The Manny Machado news broke on Tuesday just as the Yankees were taking the field for their first full squad workout of spring training, and it turns out they weren't lying in the weeds on the Johnny Hustle guy any more than they are going to make a last-minute bid to sign Bryce Harper. It also wasn't so much a surprise at this point as a statement of belief in the team they've built, as well as further proof of how times have changed for this storied franchise. Indeed, the Yankees may have won 100 games last season, but they were no match for the Red Sox in the postseason, leaving them to watch helplessly as their famed rivals won still another World Series, their 4th since breaking the curse of the Bambino in 2004. Yankees media highlights 0 hours 2 minutes and 21 seconds. Clint Frazier speaks about being healthy for Yankees camp and what he had to do to get cleared. Luke Voigt speaks on competing at first base. Yankees outfielder Clint Frazier is ready to put 2018 behind him. The 24-year-old sustained 2 concussions last season, the latter forcing him to shut down for the second half of the season as he struggled to find at-bats at the major league level. Yet Frazier said on Tuesday that he is fully healthy now after a long off-season of rehab that included attending concerts and sitting as close as possible to the stage. Judge high expectations for 2019. 0 hours 1 minute and 24 seconds. Aaron Judge addressed the media and talked everything from health, expectations and batting leadoff in 2019. Manny Machado is finally off the free agent market, and with Bryce Harper not on the Yankees' radar, it appears their roster is set for the season barring any out-of-the-blue signings. And Aaron Judge is perfectly fine with that. The Yankees made a few moves this offseason to add to their 100-win team of last year, but there was no big splash like the Giancarlo Stanton trade in 2018. GM Brian Cashman, instead, adding players like James Paxton, Adam Ottavino, and Troy Tulowitzki while re-signing Zach Britton and J.A. Happ as well. August 17, 2018, Seattle, Washington, USA. Los Angeles Dodgers shortstop Manny Machado, 8, tosses his bat after hitting a home run against the Seattle Mariners at Safeco Field. Mandatory credit, Jennifer Buchanan. USA Today Sports. Jennifer Buchanan, Chris Carelli, SNY, TV, Facebook, Twitter. About Me, Archives. Once SNY's Andy Martino described the Yankees' feelings about Manny Machado as being lukewarm. Everything about the pursuit, or lack thereof, rang true to those beliefs. The Yankees did not believe Machado was a difference maker at his terms and price, shifted gears and never sniffed near his desires. It's actually easy to debate both sides of the question as to whether the Yankees were right or wrong to pass on Machado. I'll say this, the Yankees might have become better in the short term with Machado aboard, but they will not suffer because he is not. Moreover, failing to sign him will not come back to haunt the club. It's difficult to take the stance that the Yankees would not have become a better team with Machado manning shortstop or third base. However, it's also cringeworthy to suggest that the Yankees are going to pay the consequences for passing on a 10-year, $300 million deal, knowing all too well how these deals can crumble long before they wind down. Los Angeles Dodgers shortstop Manny Machado hits an RBI double during the 9th inning against the Arizona Diamondbacks at Chase Field. Jennifer Stewart, USA Today Sports, Andy Martino, SNY.TV, Twitter, Port St. Lucie. In recent days, talk of Manny Machado and the Yankees would not quite die, but that had nothing to do with the team. Right up until the end, when Machado joined the San Diego Padres on the mega deal he had always sought, some in the players' camp were urging him to consider a shorter-term deal with the Yankees. But word all throughout Machado's free agency was that he would chase the highest offer, and that's what ended up happening. Here is the full history of the Yanks' very half-hearted pursuit of Machado. As reported last fall, the team came out of its annual pro scouting meetings lukewarm on the idea of signing him, and all but ruling out pursuing Bryce Harper. Young fan on Machado signing 0 hours 1 minute and 30 seconds. New York Yankees fan Jacob Carpenter reacts to the news of Manny Machado signing a 10-year, $300 million deal with the Padres. After being told Manny Machado had agreed to a huge deal with the Padres, Jacob Carpenter, a young Yankees fan at spring training in Tampa, started screaming his head off about being glad Machado didn't come to the Bronx. This little kid's rant was incredibly impressive. But once he calms down, someone should give him a gentle reminder about the many other AL East stars the Yankees have poached. The Yankees had been in pursuit of free agent 3B/SS Manny Machado, who was reportedly looking for a deal that will pay him roughly $300 million over 10 years. Now, the saga appears over. February 19, 12:27 p.m., Machado has agreed to a deal with the Padres, Jeff Passan of Yahoo reports. The deal is worth $300 million over 10 years, reports MLB.com's Mark Feinson. The deal has an opt-out after the 5th season, reports Tim Brown of Yahoo. September 26, 2018, New York City, New York, USA. New York Mets starting pitcher Jacob deGrom, 48, pitches against the Atlanta Braves during the first inning at Citi Field. Mandatory credit. Brad Penner, USA Today Sports. Brad Penner, the Yankees' Luis Severino took a bit of a jab at Mets ace Jacob deGrom on Sunday over deGrom's potential self-imposed innings restriction if he doesn't get an extension by opening day. On Monday, Severino claimed I wasn't saying anything about deGrom's situation after he clearly did just that. On Tuesday, deGrom responded, "Everybody is entitled to their own opinions," deGrom told Matt Ahilt of NJ.com. The business side of the game is why you have agents. They're looking out for my best interest and advising me. New York Yankees outfielder Estevan Florial during the Arizona Fall League All-Star Game at Surprise Stadium, Mark J. Abeles, USA Today Sports. After being ranked No. 2 last year behind Gleyber Torres, outfielder Estevan Florial enters 2019 as the Yankees' #1 prospect, according to the latest top 30 list released by MLB Pipeline. Rounding out the top 5 are RHP Jonathan Loaisiga, RHP Albert Abreu, RHP Davy Garcia and RHP Clark Schmidt. While MLB.com's Jim Callis notes there are swing-and-miss concerns with Florial, his multiple above-average tools put him atop the Yanks farm system. The site gives Florial a 65 grade for running and arm, a 60 for defense and a 55 for power. April 2, 2018, Miami, Florida, USA. Boston Red Sox former player David Ortiz, left, sits next to former New York Yankees Jorge Posada, center, and former New Yankees player and the Miami Marlins chief executive officer Derek Jeter, right, during the second inning of a baseball game between the Boston Red Sox and the Miami Marlins at Marlins Park. Mandatory credit. Steve Mitchell, USA Today Sports. Steve Mitchell, there's a simple reason why Jorge Posada's return to a full-time job in baseball at 47 years old is coming with the Marlins and not the Yankees, team for which he played his entire career. The Yankees didn't offer their former catcher a job. There was nothing official. They just wanted me to be a guest coach, Posada told the New York Post. The 5-time All-Star and owner of 4 World Series rings said he was not really disappointed. "It is what it is. I'm okay," Posada said. Exclusive Aaron Boone interview 0 hours 5 minutes and 13 seconds. Yankees manager Aaron Boone sat down with SNY's Andy Martino. They talk everything from changing culture to never-known postseason injuries. Yankees manager Aaron Boone sat down with SNY.TV's Andy Martino on Baseball Night in New York to talk about New York's revamped bullpen, what he expects in his second year as manager, and how he hopes his club can win its first World Series since 2009. New York Yankees designated hitter Giancarlo Stanton singles against the Toronto Blue Jays during the third inning at Yankee Stadium. Andy Marlin, USA Today Sports. John Harper, SNY.TV, Twitter, Tampa. On his first day in Yankee camp, Giancarlo Stanton wasn't making any bold predictions or declaring that New York has yet to see him at his best, but he said just enough to make it seem he believes year 2 in pinstripes will be something closer to his NL MVP season of 2017. Which raises an obvious question: is there legitimate reason to believe he's more than a streaky mistake hitter who will always be vulnerable to elite pitching, as it appeared last season? New York Yankees pitcher Luis Severino walks toward the dugout after being relieved during the third inning of a baseball game against the Oakland Athletics in Oakland, California, Wednesday, Sept. 5, 2018. AP photo, Jeff Chu, AP. Luis Severino claims he wasn't specifically discussing Jacob deGrom's situation, despite saying $17 million and, you know, his name. During an interview with SNY on Monday, the Yankees ace was informed that his comments about the National League Cy Young winner were getting a lot of attention. "Nobody has said anything to me about it," he told SNY contributor John Harper. Andy Martino, SNY.TV, Twitter, on October 8, 2018, during the terrible span of 10 minutes or so between a playoff loss and a grilling from reporters, Brian Cashman offered Aaron Boone an out. "You can tell them about Britain," said the GM, whose typical approach is to preemptively reveal stories that are likely to leak anyway. Stanton on Harper and Machado. 0 hours 0 minutes and 30 seconds. Stanton owns the largest contract in baseball. Many thought Harper and Machado would break it this offseason yet still remain unsigned. Giancarlo Stanton owns the largest contract in Major League Baseball, a title many thought would belong to either Bryce Harper or Manny Machado at the start of spring training. The two-star free agent still remain unsigned as of Feb. 18, although Harper is reportedly close, and it is possible that two players still garner contracts that would keep Stanton as the highest-paid player in the league. The Yankees slugger has seen what has transpired this offseason in free agency, and like many he is left confused as to what is going on. Toronto Blue Jays shortstop Troy Tulowitzki throws out Boston Red Sox right fielder Mookie Betts during the first inning at Fenway Park. Winslow Townsend, USA Today Sports. Chris Carelli, SNY, TV, Facebook, Twitter, About Me, Archives. The Yankees had plenty of preparation time to find a temporary replacement for shortstop Didi Gregorius, who underwent Tommy John surgery on October 17, 2018. Yet, the club's answer, or prayer, is Troy Tulowitzki. As if the Yankees were lost in 2013, the team apparently loved what they saw from Tulowitzki in a workout conducted for MLB squads in mid-December. Recall, Tulowitzki was released outright by the Toronto Blue Jays, who will pay the shortstop all but the MLB minimum, $555,000, toward his $19 million due in 2019. Taking a flyer on a player like Tulowitzki at the league minimum salary is understandable, but to outright name him the starting shortstop for a team with legitimate hopes to win a World Series title before seeing him step foot on the field in a competitive atmosphere is not. Yankees infielders at work. 0 hours 0 minutes and 25 seconds. Didi Gregorius and the Yankees infielders worked on their defense at training camp. Didi Gregorius and the Yankees infielders work on their defense at spring training. New York Yankees starting pitcher Luis Severino works out as pitchers and catchers report for spring training at George M. Steinbrenner Field. Kim Clement, USA Today Sports. Luis Severino fired off an unexpected fastball toward Mets pitcher Jacob deGrom on Sunday. The Yankees ace, who recently inked a 4-year, $40 million extension to buy out his arbitration years, was critical of the reigning National League Cy Young Award winner for considering an innings limit this season if he does not sign an extension with the Mets. For me, I would never do something like that, Severino told Randy Miller of NJ.com. I want to pitch. I love to pitch. I love this game. I never do that. New York Yankees designated hitter Giancarlo Stanton hits a single to left field during the 8th inning against Toronto Blue Jays at Yankee Stadium. Catalina Fragoso, USA Today Sports. Giancarlo Stanton's stats in 2018 were all down from his MVP season in 2017. But Yankees hitting coach Marcus Thames is confident the four-time All-Star will rebound in his second season in pinstripes in 2019. I know he's been working on some things, Thames said, according to the New York Post's Dan Martin. Who will lead off for Yankees? 0 hours 0 minutes and 59 seconds. Aaron Boone had an interesting idea for a leadoff hitter for the Yankees in 2019. It'll likely be Hicks, but he didn't rule out Aaron Judge. Leading off for the Yankees, Aaron Judge. Yes, you read that correctly. Yankees manager Aaron Boone said that Aaron Hicks will likely lead off most games for the Bombers, but when asked how he could flip the lineup, he noted Judge potentially filling that slot. First, I think DJ LeMahieu, especially with the way he hits left-handed pitching, Boone told the media on Sunday. He can certainly be an option up there. We could even flirt with the big boy up there, Judge, in certain situations. But I do like Aaron Hicks at the top of the order. Brett Gardner could play into that mix, especially against right-handed pitching. So it kinda depends on who's in the lineup that day, who the pitcher is, who the opponent is. I would say Aaron Hicks is probably the front-runner to be that guy to lead off. September 16, 2018, Atlanta, Georgia, USA. Washington Nationals right fielder Bryce Harper, 34, in the dugout against the Atlanta Braves during the second inning at SunTrust Park. Mandatory credit, Adam Hagee. USA Today Sports. Adam Hagee. While the Yankees' pursuit of Manny Machado hasn't been aggressive, the Bombers haven't been on Bryce Harper's radar all off-season. Yes, the Yankees don't necessarily need Harper with Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton in their outfield already. But, at age 26 and a left-handed power bat, Harper would be a perfect fit in the Bronx. So what's held the Yankees back from looking Harper's way? CBS Sports' Jim Bowden says it's Harper's defense and price tag that is turning the Yankees off. Luis Severino headline Sunday. 0 hours 0 minutes and 55 seconds. Watch the best moments from spring training on Sunday in Tampa for the Yankees. John Harper, SNY.TV, Twitter, spring training. In some ways it's the best time for baseball writers, a time when players, managers, and executives are more relaxed and willing to talk before the pressure of the long season takes hold. I first went to spring training in 1982, and suffice it to say we writers were a lot more relaxed as well in those days, before internet deadlines and social media changed everything about the job. The quotes aren't nearly as colorful these days, when players seemingly live in fear of the Twitter reaction to even the smallest misstep. But as I head to Florida to write about both the Mets and Yankees for SNY, there's still nothing better than baseball and sunshine in February. Didi Gregorius, 18, Aaron Judge, 99, mandatory credit, Ken Blaze. USA Today Sports. Ken Blaze, Andy Martino, SNY.TV, Twitter, Tampa, Florida. It was a day of transition for the Yankees at Steinbrenner Field on Saturday, with glimpses of both the past and future, and questions about whether the Yankees can hold their new core together. The marquee event was an afternoon news conference in which CC Sabathia announced his plans to retire at the end of the season. Sabathia was a key member of the Yankees' most recent championship team, and a link between the Derek Jeter, Andy Pettitte, Jorge Posada era and the Aaron Judge, Gary Sanchez, Luis Severino group. March 1, 2018, Clearwater, FL, USA. New York Yankees center fielder Jacoby Ellsbury, 22, works out prior to the game at Spectrum Field. Mandatory credit, Kim Clement. USA Today Sports. Kim Clement. Jacoby Ellsbury is already missing the beginning of spring training, and it is likely that will mean he will start the 2019 season on the injured list. Yankees GM Brian Cashman said on Saturday that the oft-injured outfielder, who is battling plantar fasciitis, is not running on